had a great dunk and ended up being ESPN Player of the Week.
He still lives off of that moment. It was exciting.
But what people don't know about that game is that I had 3 points. I had that dunk and a free throw. That's all I had. I just had 3 points. I fouled out that game, and I actually airballed a free throw. It was like 3 feet short, but it was a game that I remember.
He had kind of a rough road to BYU.
Right out of high school, my girlfriend and I, we ended up having a child, and that's right before I started my freshman year at Pepperdine.
He went to school because he had to in order to be able to play basketball with the hopes of a college scholarship.
Ended up getting kicked out of Pepperdine because I just wasn't taking care of my business. The maturity, I wasn't there.
He will tell you he was not the best student. He didn't take his schooling very seriously. I think he always kind of knew basketball is going to be my thing. And so school, whatever.
Coach at Pepperdine, he helped me come to get to Utah. He sent me to Dixie and said, hey, Mike, okay, go here. Get away from home, get away from LA, get away from that scene. You can go concentrate, play basketball, get your grades back together.
Coach Rose has ties with Dixie, and he ended up here at BYU.
I don't think Mike Hall ever grew up thinking, man, someday I'm gonna go to BYU and be a BYU Cougar. In fact, I'll bet you he didn't even know anything about BYU until somebody said, hey, would you like to come play basketball at Brigham Young University? And I love that about him because he brings just a different perspective. He came to Brigham Young University to be a basketball player. I think he left Brigham Young University prepared to be an excellent husband, father, and contributor to the community.
I had grown up a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, knew that I wanted to be married in the temple, and my high school boyfriend was not a member of the church, and that was one of the reasons why we broke up. Then, of course, I meet Mike, who's not a member of the church, and I'm like, oh, but he's so fun.
I told her friend, I was like, I think I got a crush on her.
I think it got obviously to the point where we both cared a lot for each other, and we realized maybe this is gonna go somewhere.
Life happens, and I end up getting baptized after I left BYU. And, she stuck around. And then a year later, we got married in the temple. So it's a long process. And then, life happened, start our family, and here we are 16 years later.
When we got married, I knew that I wanted 4 kids. I'm kind of a control freak. We started our family right away, and then all of a sudden, our youngest is getting ready to go into 1st grade. And in July, I kind of felt like maybe I was pregnant.
Jojo, our baby girl, she was born in March 2021.
Within 3 seconds of her getting here, she wasn't breathing.
She had breathing tube, feeding tube, everything you had,
For some, it would be too much to handle, but for Tara and Mike, who, are so willing to just get to work and find a way to get things done, they really embraced it.
We didn't know that she had anything. No ultrasounds gave us any hints that anything was going to be wrong with this baby.
She had a rare genetic disease called cat-eye syndrome, which kind of affected a lot of things in her body. Some of the stuff I still don't really understand.
Jo was in and out of the hospital for her whole life. She was being suctioned because she couldn't swallow. She was on oxygen off and on quite a bit.
One night, she just kind of turned pale blue. And that was the last night sorry.
Mike came, met me at the emergency room, and I think by the time he got there, they were doing CPR on our baby. And that was crazy. To see doctors doing chest compressions on your little infant in the ER room, and we just hugged each other and watched and listened to them. Because she was so in and out of the hospital, we never got to give her a name or a blessing, and so we called our bishop and asked him if Mike could give her a blessing and give her name. And so we did that together. And we just rocked her. And we're able to say goodbye to her just real peacefully. It was beautiful.
Joe taught us how to love outside ourselves and not think about ourselves.
It was inspiring to see how it united the family, how they came together and worked through it together and relied on their testimonies of families being together forever to really get them through it.
Around her birthday, because birthdays, those kind of days can be hard, but in March, we try and look around even our everyday situations. What can we do to maybe bring a little joy to their life? Because Jordan brought us joy. So our joy for JoJo is what we look forward to in March, to looking around ourselves, to looking outside of ourselves and giving back.
As soon as the Big 12 announcement happened, Kalani felt a strong sense of need to evaluate all areas.
We opened that spot to have somebody be a true mentor where it doesn't involve playing time. The players need a place to go that's not just about the field.
There was a lot of things that Mike brought to the table in terms of just his life experience.
His ups and his downs, both with basketball and trying to make sports his career, with family, with even different career changes and different roles. I think he's in a great role to be a mentor.
I try to be myself. I think working with athletes, and especially college athletes, these athletes, they get a lot of people to tell them yes all the time, right? That's not my job. My job when I was at basketball and my job now is to tell these guys what they need to hear.
I think he puts all that together and gives these guys a game plan and a vision of what they can accomplish and gives them things to think about that they never thought was possible.
When I ask our guys how they're doing, I mean it. Like, how are you doing? How can I help? That's one thing that I've learned through Joe's. It's like, how are you guys doing, man? Because our hearts are different. And I want to help you with that if I can.